The Austro-Hungarian Empire had full awareness of the relatively small size of their navy compared to its immediate neighbours and rivals, Italy and France. Submarines were a way for Austria-Hungary to try and level the playing field, kind of like torpedo boats. Cheaper to build and maintain them than capital ships, but can cause similar kind of damage to an enemy navy. But as always, the leaders didn't realize the power of underwater warfare on time. It wasn't until 1909 that Austria-Hungary actually started to execute their submarine plans. That year, they decided to start buying submarines from different shipyards with the goal of eventually producing them locally. The Naval Technical Committee was ordered in 1904 to purchase a design what would be used as the backbone of the Austro-Hungarian submarine fleet. The competition was open and eventually 3 designs were chosen to compete. These were from 3 different shipyards, the Lake Shipyard and the Holland Shipyard, both from the United States, and Germania Werft Shipyard from Germany. All 3 were relatively similar in size, displacement, but not so for technology and capabilities. The Lake type was the best diver, but was disadvantaged for surface cruising. A bit like the Holland design, given a problematic gasoline engine that could easily poison the crew. The Germania Werft design was far the better for surface cruise, was roomy and reliable, and the most solid with its double hull, but it was the worst diver. When the trials were over, the Admiralty found the ideal design, which was the German U-boat type. However, as the war broke out, transporting the new submarines was only possible by rail from Germany to Poland, which is in today's Croatia. Due to this, the Austro-Hungarian Empire entered the war with some of the older prototype series submarines still had from the trials, except the U-1 series, which wasn't getting new engines at the time. In the end of 1914, they added a French submarine to their fleet, which was caught near Poland, lurking around the Austro-Hungarian naval base. Also important to note the presence and operation of German submarines in the Adriatic Sea. These German submarines received Austro-Hungarian flag and designation, so the activity stayed somewhat hidden. During the war, in total 27 Austrian submarines had been commissioned and 1 was captured from the French Navy. So from the total of 28 U-boats, 8 were lost during the war. Altogether 63 ocean-going types were planned, but due to the lack of workforce and materials, they suffered massive delays, so only a few were commissioned in time. The main base of submarine fleet was Poland, however, they were also operating out of Qatar. Compared to its relatively small size and limited access to open seas, the Austro-Hungarian submarine fleet managed to achieve some success. The submarine aces were Georg Ritten von Trapp with U-5 and U-14 submarines. Also, he's a future actor of a famous Hollywood movie, by the way. Then Zenko Hudesek with U-17 and U-28. And finally, Robert Tailf von Fernland leading the U-27. Only him and his crew sinking 1 destroyer, 1 warship, 35 civilian ships and capturing 1. Austrian submarines had a more active participation in the war compared to other divisions in the navy, and they sunk the armored cruisers Leon Gambetta and Giuseppe Garibaldi, the destroyers called Phoenix, Grenadine, Forge, Impetuoso and Nembo. Also they sunk the submarines called Circe and Nereid. Other than these, they badly damaged the Jean Bart, Dublin, Weymouth, and also interestingly 1 Japanese destroyer got torpedoed, the Sakaki, which was operating in the Aegean Sea in 1917. Other than these warships, also 108 civilian ships had been sunk or captured. Plus, there are another 11 more which is unconfirmed. To aid the Austro-Hungarian struggle, German U-boats also operated from Poland and Qatar. The German submarine crews allegedly looked down on the Austro-Hungarian crews because of their relaxed discipline in order to release tension in the multi-ethnic crew on board. The Admiralty had some interesting projects. However, these were cancelled, such as the Loligo, which was intended to be used on Lake Garda, or a cruiser cargo submarine influenced by the German Deutschland class and was intended to reach neutral Spain. They also tried to build a U-boat to operate on Danube River, but this again was dropped as it was unfeasible. At the end of the war, the surviving U-boats were handed over to the winners and most of them were scrapped by the end of the decade. When we are looking at the performance of these units, we also have to look at who were they up against, as not only Italy was present in and around the Adriatic Sea, but also France, Great Britain, the United States, and even Japan sent some of their navy to fight the Austro-Hungarians. The main difference between the Austro-Hungarian U-boat fleet and the capital fleet is that the Admiralty was trying to protect the battleships and cruisers by simply not using them at all, while they were not worried to throw the U-boats into the fire, hence they seen a lot of action during the war. Thank you for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next one.